Reality is a perception that has been believed for so long, and it has become the way you see things. So what I mean by that is we don't see things the way it is. We see things the way we are.
Trading is a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game.
So let's say, for example, you have a kid. Okay? Let's say, for example, you have a child. Let's say, for example, you have a child, or let's say you have a small sibling, a brother, a sister, it doesn't matter. And he decides to play with a car. This is how we used to draw cars in the olden days in school. So let's say this is the car of your child or your sibling. Now that child playing with this car is thinking this is a real car. Because this child have seen the father playing with the car, but the child didn't know that the father is actually driving the car to the office, to school and all of that. So the child wants to do the same. Are you with me? The child wants to do the same. So what is happening is, that stage, the child is just, vroom, vroom, daddy, daddy, I'm going to the office. And the father is like, okay, baby girl, okay, baby boy, go to the office. That is this child's reality. But then one of the things that we don't realize is that the same reality of this child grows, and then this child now becomes old person. But then this toy, which is a car, will not be a toy car anymore. It will be a toy trading. It could be a toy business. It could be a toy relationship. Are you with me? So we as human beings, sometimes we think because the child was a child, that is why he was playing with a toy. So we think when you grow up, everything you do is no more toys. Are you guys following? Remember, what are we talking about? Reality. What did I say about reality? Perception, belief for so long, that has become the way you see things. Very important you understand this. So the kid is saying, daddy, I'm going to the office with my car. The father is saying, okay, baby girl, keep on going. This kid grows up, and this same toy becomes toy trading. It becomes toy business, and it becomes toy relationships. Why am I saying toy trading? What do I even mean by that? Stay with me. As I said today, some of you guys will not be my friends anymore, but I'm hoping that you don't get angry at me. But I have to be super brutally honest, okay? So what do I mean by toy business? What do I mean by toy relationship? What do I mean by all of this? What I mean by this is that at the end of the day, you need to understand that reality are formed by either cultural reasons. Number one, write it down. They are formed either by cultural reasons. They are formed by the way we grew up. They are formed by institutions, the school you went to. So you can name it all. Realities are formed by the cultural, the way you grew up, your household, schools, experiences, knowledge-based. And number five, we can put here maybe a spiritual or faith belief system. It forms realities. So this had a couple of few things that form realities. And I want you to stay with me, okay? Stay with me. The reason why we are talking about this is that if that is the case, okay, watch this. That means me, Cliff, one of the things that you guys need to understand is this. If let's say I hate something bitter because I was young or whatever, it doesn't matter. 2, 3, 6 months later, the same thing that I call bitterness is now something I would love to drink. So that means it wasn't a bitter taste then. That means what I once used to call bitterness was actually my tongue being unfamiliar with the taste. So as the taste keep on becoming common to my tongue, I will now even basically advocate it and say, this is my favorite drink. So at that time, the reality in my mind and in my experience was, this is a bitter drink. Today, the same me is saying, this is a beautiful drink that I would love to taste. Are you with me? So reality are commonly shaped by experiences, by cultural reasons. What do I mean by cultural reasons? If you live in an area where everybody wants to become a doctor, chances are excellent you become a doctor. If you live in an area where everybody is a thief, chances are excellent you will find the reason why being a thief even makes sense. If you live in an area where everybody is a trader and the things you come across is always about trading, chances are excellent you're going to become a trader. I want you to stay with me. Schools, the schools we went to, that is the way you see things. So now that has become your reality. But one thing I want you to understand is this. Reality, as I said, is not absolute in all dimensions. No. The reality most people are living in is not absolute. The reality most people live in is level number 1 and level number 2. Level number 1 and number 2 is the kind of experience that is based by the subjects. It's a subjective reality, and it's a reality that is based by sensual, your feelings. I don't feel like this is a good masterclass. It's your feelings. It's not true. I don't feel like this is a good business. It's your feelings. It's not true. What are your facts that this is not a good masterclass? What are your facts that is not a good business? So these are the levels people live in. Level number 1 and level number 2. They are not absolute. They are levels that is based on the sensuality, the sensory reality. And then we have experience-based reality, which is subjective. Now, level 1 and 2 is where most people live in. Are you with me? So you need to be able to understand that the conversation we're about to have today, my goal is to be able to let every single person understand that there are so many ways that you can be able to live. So I've already mentioned level 1 and level 2 for you, which is what? The perceived reality, or the reality that comes with the senses. Then we have experience-based, which is subjective. So you will hear people sometimes saying, from where we come from, we don't do this, we don't do that. It's true, but it is not absolute. It's subjective. For example, I remember back in the days growing up, my dad will always tell us that, as a human being, it is important you get documents. When you say documents, all the African people will understand this. Documents, meaning papers. Go get papers. Travel around and go get documents. It is not a reality, because the people that live in the country you want to go and get their documents, they are not thinking the way you are thinking. That is your reality. So that reality is subjective. It is not for everybody. Are you with me? So we have perceived reality, what you think is real. So your assumptions, the expectations, it is a perceived reality, level number 1. Level number 2 is experience reality. Okay, I came onto the masterclass, and my experience is that the masterclass is one of the best masterclasses I've ever been on, and therefore it is the best masterclass in the whole world. It's not absolute. There are other people doing probably what I'm doing more than what I'm doing now, and it's changing lives in different dimensions. So the fact that the experience you had on this masterclass is beautiful does not necessarily mean it's absolute. It's an experienced reality. Then we have what we call perceived reality. It is a kind of reality that is more of what I think is real. This is what I think. This is what I feel. It's a perceived reality. Now, the one thing that I want to talk about today is what I call objective reality and spiritual reality. I want to talk about objective reality and then spiritual reality. Objective reality is what actually true in the natural. For example, we live on Earth. Law of gravity is not subjective, it's objective. You don't jump from a story building expecting your feelings to save you. If you jump from a 50th story building, you will go down. It's objective. It's not subjective. Are you with me? So you need to understand that, yes, You have feelings and you have experiences, but there are facts, meaning there are things that is actually true in the natural. Then we have spiritual reality. Write it down, please. Number one, what did I say? I said we have experienced, no, we have perceived reality, which is the where you go like, I think this is real. I feel this is not true. Is perceived reality, what you are assuming the reality is supposed to be. And then we have what we call experienced reality, what you have lived through, your experience as a Ghanaian, your experience as a Nigerian, your experience on this masterclass, your experience as a trader. Is called experienced reality. Then we have objective, law of gravity. 1 + 1 is 2. I don't feel like it's 2. 1 + 1 is 2, according to the law of arithmetic. 2 × 3 is 6. Does that make sense? Spiritual reality. Spiritual reality is what God says is true. This is the highest level of reality. Divine truth that never changes. So, if every single morning you wake up and you are like, I am great, it is not. Now, listen to me carefully now. When you wake up and you said, I am a great trader, even if you are not that yet, it is not a perceived reality. It is not an experienced reality. It is not only just an objective reality, but it is a spiritual reality. Because as a man, you have the right to dominate anything you put your mind to on earth. You have the right to do that. You have the dominion to dominate your account. You have the dominion to dominate every single thing you put your mind to. So if you say, I am an amazing entrepreneur, even if it's not that yet, it's a spiritual reality based on who you are as an individual. Let's say, imagine if you didn't know that you were a king's son, you were a prince. So you went to a place and people are just laughing at you and so on and so forth. They are basically saying that, how can this person say that he is a prince? The fact that you don't look like a prince and the fact that they don't see you as a prince does not mean you're not a prince. But if you believe that you are not a prince and you start acting like you are not a prince, your experience will look like the one who is not a prince. I want you guys to get what I'm saying right now. Let's say you were born into the royal family and you know zero information about that. Zero. You don't know that you were a prince. And then you are being lied to that you are, sorry for me to say this, but a slave. Now, you don't know. So because of that, you are being affected by the words of the people. Now, the minute, listen to this carefully now, because you don't know that you are a prince, they are laughing at you, they are mocking you, they are maltreating you. But the reason why your life experience does not look like a victorious person is because you don't know that you are a prince. Now, the day that you will get knowledge about the reality of who you really are, it's not about how they feel, it's not about the experience they have had about you, it's about the objective. Are you a prince? Yes. Do you have dominion over a certain kingdom? If the answer is yes, the day you come across that knowledge, it changes your behavior. That is what is going to happen to some of you guys today at the end of today's session. That some of you guys have come here today, and at the end of the day, you don't understand that there are objective and spiritual reality. So you are behaving like a loser. You are behaving and you are celebrating in ignorance, even though you don't know there is more that you can become. Are you with me? So as I said, today's masterclass is going to be a powerful one. Believe me, you will never leave here the same way again. I have not still introduced my topic. Stay with me. So now that you understand realities, let's look at some couple of few things I wrote down here. I wrote something here, and I said, what you think is real versus what is actually real. What you think is real and what is actually real. What you think is real I wrote down some couple of few things and I want you guys to write it down as well. I wrote down here, I said, what you think is real. So what we think. So what we think is real and what actually is real. And what is real. I'm not going to write it because it's too long. Okay? So there are things we think is real and there are some certain things that is not actually really real. What are we talking about? Reality. But it's not my topic yet. Stay with me. I wrote down here the first one is comfort. I'm going to give just two examples for you to understand the concept. So normally when you hear comfort, we think it's about ease. It's about luxury. Comfort, ease, and luxury is level 1 and 2 of reality. Perceived reality and subjective reality. It's not absolute. It's not objective. The objective reality of comfort is stagnation. It's sedative. So when the next time somebody say, oh, hey, I want to be able, I hope you guys can see the screen. I want to be able to be comfortable. What you are basically saying is, listen to this carefully now. Anytime that you say, I want to be comfortable, the way the world has programmed comfort simply means the guy who is able to do what they want to do every single day. It's not true. Comfort is not ease. Comfort is not luxury. Comfort is stagnation, sedative, and being disconnected from purpose. That is comfort. Are you guys with me? So every single time that we say comfort is equal to stagnation, sedative, disconnected from purpose. I want you guys to understand this carefully now. Are you with me? Drop some number ones if you are getting this. We are building a very serious foundation here. You need this knowledge. If not, you will not understand the things you're about to say. I'm going to give you one more example, then I will connect that to trading. So number one, comfort. Comfort simply means, number one here, to us, perceived, and our experience says comfort is ease, luxury. But it's not true. Comfort is stagnation, sedative, disconnected from purpose. That is why Steve Harvey says something interesting. He says, get comfortable being uncomfortable if you want to build a life of a huge success. Number two, pain. What we think pain is bad. So if an individual hears pain, in their mind, pain is bad. But pain actually is growth. Pain actually is initiation. And pain is a signal. Are you with me? So pain is not bad, but that is the way the reality of life based on other people's perception is telling us. But pain is not bad. Pain is growth. Pain is an initiation. Pain is signal. So what that simply means is this. When we say pain is a signal, it means, let's say I'm cooking. And I'm cooking, and then my hand mistakenly touched the gas. Pain is a signal. Ouch. Did you see that? Signal. Signaling me to my brain that is pain. Remove your hand, if not you will burn. Imagine if I don't have any pain sensations, I will burn my hand. So pain is a signal. If you say you're going to be, if you want to say, hey Cliff, I want to grow. It's pain. Because you are becoming. So some of you guys right now, I know it's not always interesting to declare, but you are growing. Pain is an initiation. If you say you want to become a CEO, life is going to throw curves at you to solve problems. It's painful to deal with people. It's painful to deal with situations. But it's an initiation to make you become a CEO. Are you guys with me? So these are the way that the world defines reality. And this is the real meaning. Level 4 and 3. Level 1 and 2. If you want to survive in this world, in anything, always make sure that you live through all these levels. You need to understand there are things that are objective, they are facts, and there are things that are spiritual. The things you don't see is real. This mobile phone came from an unseen mentality, imagination. So that's why I was telling you, the child that was playing with a toy car, there is nothing wrong with the imagination of the child. The only issue is the more you grow, you can't afford to live life on ignorance. Your perception must be challenged. Your perception must be questioned. So if you say you are a trader, I need to be able to ask you, what does that mean? If you don't know what that means, then you are in trouble.